The Diadem Warrior Blucore is the third full foam paddle to come out, but how does it compare to the OG True Foam? Let's find out. Shout out to Premier Racket Sports in Georgia for providing me this demo, so definitely check them out if you're ever in Georgia. As a reminder, this is more of a first impressions review, not a full review, so I don't have any long-term durability insight or whatnot. I played with this paddle stock, and I'll go into why a little later. The Diadem Blucore comes in 9 different variations. Their standard shape is like the Carbon 3s with an elongated face and a shorter handle. The Pro shape is a typical elongated paddle, and the Max is their wide body. Each shape has a 14, a 16, and a 19 millimeter option. I decided to test the 14 millimeter Pro version because I thought this would be the most popular option. I think this is actually a good looking paddle in my opinion. It has nice little details like the clear butt cap, which kind of shows the construction underneath or in the handle at least. Also, the look of the edge guard is really unique in my opinion. As you can see, it's like a foam, not like a typical, like, I guess plastic. So more matte feeling. But although it looks kind of cool in comparison, this was actually one of my biggest gripes with the paddle. I tried to put some lead tape to modify the setup just to have some additional testing, but the carbon lead tape strips would not stick on this paddle. They would like fall off like maybe after like 20 seconds. And it does feel a lot more like smooth and not like slick that you can stick something on. I just think it's a really poor design choice for that reason. Maybe you can find another way to attach lead more effectively, but I just think having an extra barrier of entry to customize your paddle is just a poor design choice. Compared to the True Foam, the Blucore has less pop. And this is coming from the True Foam, which is not that poppy of a paddle. The True Foams have a fiberglass sheet in the middle, while this one is just a full foam core. If you don't put anything on your counter or speed up, it doesn't really go far or fast at all. I was actually very pleasantly surprised with the control of this paddle. On any easier drop or reset, it had nice dwell time and felt really soft and cushioned the ball into the kitchen. On those types of resets and shots, I would say the control is better than the True Foam. The True Foam, which I think has really good control, just has that extra pop. So in comparison, this control felt better. That being said, on like difficult shots behind you or just scrambling, the lack of pop made it a little bit short on those returns where I'm used to just putting my paddle out with the True Foam and it going back over. It's probably just something you need to get used to using this paddle, just having to put a little bit extra force behind those gets. The sweet spot was pretty good on this thing, honestly, given that it's an elongated paddle and that it's in stock form. There were just some dead spots I usually like to get rid of near here by putting the lead tape, but I couldn't because of the edge guard. On full swings, the power was not too bad. It was probably just slightly less than the True Foam, but this is elongated, so I'm not sure about the other shapes. The drives aren't blowing anyone away, but get the job done. Honestly, I think the Diadem Warrior Blucore is a great control paddle. Given that I played with it stock and it was already pretty good, if I could somehow update the setup, I think it would be a better control paddle than the True Foam. That being said, I think the lack of pop is just a little hard to swallow nowadays in the power meta of pickleball we're in. Yeah, the power is okay when you take larger swings, but sometimes you just want it to pop off fast for a quick counter instead of having to anticipate and take a fuller swing. Also, my biggest gripe is just that the edge guard makes it hard to customize, so I think that was just a bad design. Given all of these thoughts are on the 14 millimeter, I'm curious how the 16 and the 19 millimeter play. Unless the Blucore foam is more poppy and powerful the thicker it is, which doesn't seem to be the case on the website, I just think it's not going to be worth having a less poppy, less powerful, and a slower hand speed paddle because it's already pretty good at control. That being said, I mained power paddles for the last year and a half or so, so maybe I'm just out of touch with the control paddle community. Since it seems like power is the main thing people pay for in paddles, I just think the price tag of $280 is a little steep for a more control-oriented paddle. It is new technology and it has a full foam core, so you can expect less durability issues if I had to guess. I do really like the feel of this Blucore. It just feels like a true foam with extra control because of the lack of pop. I just don't know if the lack of aggressiveness is viable nowadays for the majority of players. I'm not too well versed in the more control-oriented market, but if there isn't any other paddle with a more full foam feel and more dwell time, then maybe there's a market for this paddle. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment below what paddle you want to see next. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. And see you next time.